Happy Sunday evening. This is your Dr. Jumi here again, talking about her wellness retreat. And I have an amazing co-host today. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create conversations around wellness for women. And my co-hosts and speakers for the retreat are very busy women, as you can see. So when I grab any of them, I just say, hey, come on, let's talk about this retreat. And I was able to grab the amazing Dr. Bunmi. She's going to talk this evening, and I'm looking forward to her coming on just to share her own wellness journey. She's not here yet, and she has no idea I'm going to say this. But I want to ask her some very interesting questions that I'm sure you look forward to hearing her responses regarding wellness for her. And this is a little bit different from the typical wellness ideas that we have. And I'll keep my lips sealed until she comes, and then we kind of set her up. She's probably going to roll her eyes at me, but that's okay. So I'm going to send her a request now, and then we'll kind of go from there. But how's everybody doing? So I chose to just stay outside and just enjoy the sun hitting my face, and it's really doing a good popping job. Yeah, so hopefully she comes on right away. It's going to be a quick one. I'm just talking about wellness. I'm creating conversations around wellness. There's a lot of women in their 40s and 50s who are working so hard to retain their youth. You know, this is a new generation of women, Gen X women and millennial women, who don't want to age typically like their mothers did. They want to stay slim. They want to stay athletic. They want to stay fit. They want to still dress as well, you know, and do a lot of things that would improve their quality of life. And even after retirement, they want to still be able to enjoy all the labor of their hard work in their, you know, active period of work. And so it's one of the things I love to do. I talk to these women a lot. I see them as a physician, you know, I take care of their needs, and we talk about how they can improve their quality of life and their wellness. And it keeps saying she's unable to join. I'm not sure if it has to do with network on her side. I'm not sure what we can do. But the plan was to have her come in today. I plan to do my own one-on-one lives much later, close to my retreats. And so I'm not going to spill any of my own tea yet until, you know, I can, you know, bring all my guests in. But we won't give up. We'll keep trying. And if not, I guess we'll probably have to reschedule. But one of the things I was talking about prior to this session is the fact that we think when it comes to wellness, it has to be some deliberate activities like going to the gym. You know, it has to be like what we eat, what we drink, how we sleep. All that's amazing, you know, health checks, you know, all that's amazing. There's an amazing part of wellness that we haven't really explored. And I'm going to be talking with Dr. B about that part of wellness. She has no idea. I'm setting her up for this, but hopefully she's able to join this, and we can have that discussion together. So let me see. I'm sorry, I'm trying to respond to her message again. I've invited her, so hopefully she's able to come in. So it keeps saying she's still unable to join. I really can't say why she can't join. Go live. Okay, I've sent a request for her to be my live video. We'll keep waiting for her to come in. You know, it's amazing how technology works. You depend on it like it's your go-to for everything you want to do in empowering and in, you know, being a blessing and communicating and connecting. And when you need it the most, it just shows you that it's still an app at the end of the day, like it's doing to us right now. Because I know she's very dexterous when it comes to social media as well. She has her page. Sadly, she's unable to join. I keep saying she's unable to join. I don't know what's happening. What I can recommend is that maybe she starts the live on her side and tries to invite me. I'm a very determined person. For those that don't know, I don't give up like that. So maybe she start the live on her side and then she invites me and then we have the discussion. So I will leave you with these thoughts I was sharing before we try to do this whole tech thing, is that wellness is encompassing body, soul, spirit, mental health, social health, financial health, spiritual health. Wellness is encompassing. And the goal is to continue to work hard, and the word is hard, deliberately, to inculcate wellness of many of these facets of your life. Oh, she made it. Yay! She made
Yay!
it. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit. People,
Oh
please
my
permit
goodness.
me. I'm going to barrage her here, and this is my girl. So I can't form. I can't form. I want to try to see when I'm using my home training. Just say to me, yeah, package again.
Ah,
Because I'm
can you
going to
can
use
you
my
hear
home
me
training.
okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
I do. Don't mind them with
Awesome.
social media things. No weapon. No weapon. You're still on the move as well. You haven't like
No,
distressed.
I'm
Me
at
too.
home. I'm at home.
Yeah, me
I'm just
too.
sipping water so my voice can be well
It's
projected.
been a long day.
Yep, yep,
Getting
yep.
up very early, getting the kids ready for church, getting the husband ready for church, getting ready for
Just
church,
not ready for church.
serving God in church, driving home,
Yeah,
cooking,
definitely
taking care
serving
of
God in church.
everybody. Amazing. But you know what? God is good,
Yeah.
isn't it? God
And
is good.
I'm messing with my with my thing here. How
Just
are
before you
you?
came, I'm good. As I said, you have to put me in place if I start to barrage. Because Andy, you're my girl now, and we have to just show up. But it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I absolutely celebrate you.
I
Thank you
say,
for this opportunity to
hey,
jump on live
hey,
here.
I
And
know.
I know
Sorry,
this
last
has
minute,
been
but it's what it is. Last minute is what it is. So today I was like, before you came on, I was just talking about how wellness is all encompassing body, soul, spirit, emotions, finances, relationships. And when we hear wellness, we think of just the body parts most of the time, the body or the wellness part of health in that sense, without so much emphasis. I'm going
you're
to ignore
laughing
the
at
chat.
Pastor Sheyi, right?
I'm going to ignore the chat and focus on this. So as I was saying, oh, by the way, you look really good, by the way,
Thank you.
goals,
Oh,
just
you
saying.
look amazing
As
too.
in, I want
You're
right
shining.
people, I want elegant something.
Woohoo.
Anyways,
I've missed you.
as
So
in,
for those of you that don't know, we used to be in the same city, and then she moved far away, and
as in,
well, we're gonna catch up this summer, and you're gonna
yes,
have to
June
repay
29, 30, June
disappearing
29,
for
June
so
30.
long.
I know. There's a lot more to our history beyond just being together in the same city that we probably will share later. But you're an amazing woman of God, and yeah. Anyway, let's come back to wellness. So today's wellness discussion will be about social wellness, emphasizing more of community wellness. I think it's a big issue for women because I believe that we were kind of crafted, or our makeup is community, even though we probably may not accept that anymore, particularly the modern women. Of course, some of us have been burnt, we've been disappointed, friendships have been strained or broken, the things that happen, gossiping, women issues, women drama. We are Niger girls, we know how these things happen. We're black women, we're even women naturally, where drama happens. But so we had a lot of women that have pulled out from community. They just want to be by themselves. They don't want to, do people anymore. What will you say to that? And then tying that to wellness. So I know I put you on the spot. If you could please share while I
Yeah.
bask in the aura of your presence.
Such aura. Feels so special.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
boy, it's amazing. I really want to, celebrate you, Dr. Jumi, my sister, my friend. It's been a long journey, and I'm so proud of your journey. And it's the amazing thing is it's just the beginning, and
Now I'm
I'm
blushing.
loving
Yeah,
how
Jesus.
you're owning this niche of wellness because we really all do need that,
Mm-hmm.
especially as women. And like women thrive in communities. It's been researched, it's a fact, it's obvious everywhere. And, right now, as you're talking about the social aspects of wellness. So many times we like to pretend like, oh, I'm okay, I don't need anybody. But trust me, that doesn't last as long as we really fake it to be. Women thrive in communities, and it doesn't have to be a large community. It could just be one person. Many times, Jumi and I will be on the call heading back home from work. She's distressing, I'm distressing. And by the time we get home, we're ready to face the next aspect of life because that's what life is. We're going to jump on and put off the boss hats, the boss ladies that we are at work, and put on the mommy hat, put on the wifey hat, put on the relaxation hat because we still need to take a deep breath and chill before we go to the next thing. So social wellness is so important and community is so important, and finding communities is really, really key. And I'm happy to be able to have that community around me, and I know you have that as well. And we have it in various capacities. So we are women of faith. So like church is a big thing for us. And these days, sometimes when I'm thinking of, okay, I need to be in a community somewhere, I just think of the circle, the bond that I've formed even with my church sisters. I have folks that
Amazing.
are my colleagues, I have mentees, I have mentors, and that joy of just, oh, I'm going to see them on Saturday at choir rehearsal, on Sunday, or at the women's retreat, or at the barbecue or something. It just makes you feel happy that, okay, even if you're away from other communities, you can still rely on this community. But beyond that,
Amazing.
people form various friendships at work. It could
Mm-hmm.
be in a volunteer organization, but especially sometimes too, you need some social friends that are at the same level of your intellectual
Mm-hmm.
capacity. And that's where this great thing you're doing for doctors is so important because
Amazing.
sometimes some people they're not at that level, not to degrade anyone, but we've been through some unique journeys. We understand some unique challenges that we have, and we can speak at that level to each other and then look
Mhm.
for means to keep elevating each other. Yeah.
Amazing. And I think being a woman doctor itself, it's I did a post yesterday. I was just meditating about some stuff about being a female in medicine. Being a woman doctor itself, it's as you said, our journeys are really unique, and there are some things we can't talk about generally, not because we feel like we have anything we're trying to hide or we're trying to protect, but there's just something about how people see women doctors already. They see them as like people that have like a superpower, that have it all figured out. They expect them to know what to do and how to kind of just survive. You were the smartest in class anyway when you were like in high school. How can you say you're struggling with these areas? You should have and truth is that our medical training has nothing to do with many of the things you think we know. We have nothing about finances or leadership training, even social relationships. It was more of a competitive, you know, uh, man eats man to get to the top. It was really like trying to survive and show up in the world of men. So, but people don't know that. We're also very emotionally vulnerable because we care a lot for our patients. And so all that together, I feel like a safe space where we can actually have that discussion um, about our wellness
Right.
and be very vulnerable. It's something that I'm grateful that I followed through. I've been on this for about 5 years officially, and I'm really glad that it's coming to fruition. But taking you back to, and that's Our retreat June 29, 30, by the way. If you're a
Yes.
woman in medicine at any cadre, any level or point, practicing or not practicing, you want to be there. As it is so discounted. And that's how generous we are. It is so discounted. Just come. And if you feel like, oh, I still need support to make this happen, send a message. You have no idea how we want to be a blessing from what we have received from the Lord. So please just send a DM, reach out. We'll make accommodations and plans to make sure that you make it if you truly, truly want to be there. Now, taking you back to discussions on social wellness, tell me, I do you have any tips for I'm a shy person, I'm reserved on one side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to lose my train of
Okay.
thoughts. Then on the other side, I don't want anybody to talk to me anyhow. I don't want anybody to embarrass me. I don't want anybody to insult me. Let me respect myself. But I still want to be part of a community. I know I need a community. It's
Yeah.
scientific and it's my nature as a woman to be in a community.
Yeah.
So on two sides, could you please kind of share some tips to being a community member in that
Yeah.
sense?
Well,
I
I
swear I
guess
just threw them out on
there's
you.
a there's a saying that you're only shy until your topic of interest comes up, you know. Many times some people think, "Oh, I'm shy, I'm reserved." But wait until they're in a community where they have their girlfriends and they're talking about something they're really passionate about. All that shyness flies out of the window right away. So maybe the
Somebody
tips.
requested to be on the live. It's a mutual friend, Chuela. Let's just allow her to say hey, and then we continue if you don't mind. Do you
Okay,
want
no
to hold
problem.
that
Hey,
thought?
Trilla.
Okay, so just allow her to say hi.
Let's hope she doesn't have any techie issues like at the
I
beginning.
know. So yeah, please go ahead, please. I
Yeah.
just wanted to know that we acknowledge her request. Go ahead.
Yes, yes. And just like, Truella is coming on here now, like maybe 5, 10 years ago, I didn't know Truella, but I met Truella through Jumi. And that's how, communities build. You
Yeah.
get to know someone through someone. Sometimes you just have to be vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
to step into those waters. And I know that I can speak to that from Jumi herself, because even though we went to the same college, we weren't really friends until we crossed to this side. And when she reached out to me, it was just like a Facebook message. And she
Yeah.
was like, "Hi, Bumi, do you remember me?" and all that. And I think then I was on and off Facebook. So for like what, maybe 6 months or
Yeah, it
something.
was a long time before you responded because I reached out when we moved into the city, literally, and I didn't hear
Exactly.
from you for a long time.
And I didn't respond. And it wasn't necessarily because I didn't want to respond. I guess I just wasn't on Facebook or something was going on with my messenger. But she was persistent, She reached out again. So I think, and at that point, I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, she already reached out like 6 months ago. And we've been in this same city. And, I too, I was praying for a friend or at least to expand my network. And there
Right.
she was. And we just met up and something. So sometimes you have to be
Mhm.
vulnerable, you have to be persistent. It doesn't mean every outreach will end up in a yes or a jovial,
Yes.
mutual
Yes.
relationship. But if
Yeah.
you don't attempt it, you wouldn't know. So you don't necessarily have to start from maybe looking for 100 friends. Just start with one. Start with that one person, and that one person will lead to another person and lead to another person. And sometimes we do get bonds. Like I've connected with some people whom at the end of the day I was like, maybe they're not really what they profess to be, especially on the streets of Instagram. Everybody is there, everybody is beautiful, everybody is doing something great, and you're like, oh, let's connect next one. And then you figure out, some things just don't align, and you just let it be. But if you didn't explore that, you
That's
wouldn't
true.
really know. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I think I like what you said, particularly. So I did merge the two groups because I believe it's a similar response. Being vulnerable, putting yourself out there and then starting from one person. Sometimes I think people are looking for that perfect group that has all the optics, the whole branding. And sadly, most communities are built now from social media first. Like you see somebody that you like on social media, you follow the person, they have an event or you meet them at an event, they're like, oh, I know you. It's not really like before when you meet people at work or, on the streets. Everybody's being careful right
Right.
now. Neighbors lock their doors. You really don't see each other. And so you definitely might start up a conversation and then, it might not align. Or, as I was saying before this thought dropped in, so I'm switching my thought back. Sometimes I get overexcited. Is where, you're looking for that perfect community to join. You could always start with one person. And from that one person, you build a tribe.
Right.
And it could just be that one person for a very long time. And you guys just become family friends
Mm-hmm.
and you become a tribe together. But now, as an extension to that,
Right.
networking. So there are two people that have met, like we met, and we became like, we didn't become like we are sisters. And we see there's so much more God has called us to be and do in unique ways, but we understand the power of a community, the power of people. And we now decide, okay, let's network.
Mm-hmm.
How will you, advise that lady who is in that place of, I need more, I want more, um, I need to network, but I'm shy, I'm reserved, or I'm careful, I don't want to be hurt. And now this is beyond just even like building a community. This is networking. What will you say?
Yeah, I'll just refer her to Dr. Jumi. How about that?
Yeah, not
You
everybody
know?
is at a vibing energy level like me with some
Yeah.
of these things, but
Yeah.
it's out there. Many doctors are naturally reserved. When
Yeah,
they're
it's true.
stressed, really don't
Yeah.
want to like go beyond their comfort zone. Do you think they
Hmm.
need to network? Let's start from there.
Yeah, definitely. So, on a serious note, so I'm a proponent for true elegance, and the pillars around there are confidence, character, and poise. But I just want to pick on, the character and the confidence piece. So I think it all starts off with knowing who you are, first of
Right.
all, knowing how much value and uniqueness you carry on the inside of you, because
Yeah.
that's how God created each and every one of us. There's something special about you. There's something unique about you. And without you, like the whole piece of the pie won't be complete. Just think of it that way. So even though it looks like the world has their communities, they have their tribes, they
Mm-hmm.
have their cliques, I'm telling you today, there is a place for you. And we really need you in that place. So stepping up to embrace that uniqueness, develop it if you need to fine tune it in any way. Being a person of character, there are just some basic qualities of life that you think everybody should know, but sometimes it's not the case. But if you show yourself to be someone of good character, someone that can be trusted,
Yeah.
someone that can be respected, someone of integrity, that when you say something, that's the way we find it. Those are the kind of people that people are attracted to, real good
Mm.
people. I know
Mm.
sometimes some people follow others just for the glam and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
when you're a person of value, people are attracted to that. And the more you show that value, the more people are
Yeah.
attracted to
That's
it.
good.
And sometimes it kicks off with maybe starting as a volunteer in
Yeah.
something you are passionate
Yeah.
about, and there's so many volunteer opportunities in our community. It could be in a school, it could be in a church, it could be in a food
Mm-hmm.
pantry, it could be, running a race and meeting people. Those are avenues. The bottom line, well, you need to get out of your house at some point.
That's
COVID
true.
is over, and don't trust everything you see on
Yep.
Instagram. Go to a women's conference, come to our
Yep.
retreat in June. And, I just want to put a plug into that, even though it's a doctor's retreat. It does. You don't have to be like a practicing doctor to come. So, for example, I'm in public health. I'm a physician, but I'm currently in public health practice. We have some doctors there who are running their businesses. We have some doctors there who are currently taking a break and taking care of their kids at home. That is valuable work being
That's
done
true.
right there. So
That's
look
true.
for communities and circles of interest.
That's
Show yourself
true.
as a person of value. Step in the waters and build it from there. Yeah.
Amazing. I think networking is so important. I personally have built myself over time from a place of networking, you know. You rise on the shoulders of those who have gone ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bible says something very powerful. It says, let us follow them who through faith and perseverance. I say, um, patience,
Patience.
determination, hard work, diligence,
Mm-hmm.
consistency, good character, any other adjectives will fill in there that have obtained the results. There's a result that I'm seeing, and you do have to reinvent the wheel. There's no new prayer and fasting that will bring a new oil from heaven. Somebody has brought that oil from
Right.
heaven and is working in that amazingness. As in, just be humble. I'm really calling my colleagues out right now. Just be humble and say, this thing you are doing, oh, I like. Show me the way. And sometimes show me the way is not really her giving you her toolbook. Is you being humble enough to start from pouring water on her hands. And is the truth, and that's the volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just volunteer and not like, oh, you're having a conference. You know, I'm also your classmate from high school, and can I also be a speaker at your conference? Like, you know, as in, and we come, well, what have you done? You say, well, I would like to be a speaker in the future. But we don't see anything in your profile or your portfolio that shows speaker. So I feel like sometimes we have to call ourselves out, you know, and say, you've been trying these things, they're probably frustrated or experiencing the rejection you have been experiencing or your ego being hit.
Mm.
And so you're now at the point of this networking thing is not working for me anymore. Maybe because you are approaching it wrongly. Now, there's a whole session on this if you are interested on how to network effectively and how to win in networking. That I won't tell you who will be sharing it, but at the retreat, because the whole goal is for you to thrive in wellness. And as I said from the beginning, social wellness is really, really important. You can spend much effort building how you look, building your mind, reading books, you know, watching webinars and going for a lot of coaching and getting additional degrees in your profile, but that's the best we know of you. I have 3 PhDs, and you know, I'm a perfect size, and my blood numbers are perfect, and that's it. You know, but for you to translate all that goodness you have achieved in physical and mental wellness into
Right.
impact, which is your desire,
Right.
you need to network. And I'm glad we had a lot of this back and forth on this. Um, so sorry, I'm kind of like just worried. But I just feel that this is an important discussion when it comes to, you know, being all that we are called to be. You said something about knowing who you are. You know, I feel like medical school, you know, takes most of our formative years. We start medical school as teenagers, and for those of us that you know started from the first year, the straight 6, 7 year class, some others they use their first 4 years to do a pre-med, and it's still a lot of reading because they want to do the MCAT or any other special exam, and then they jump into medicine at the peak of their formative years in that sense as young women now, young ladies. And then when you the way medical school is, a colleague used the word then, I remember very well. He said, medicine is a selfish lover. It's
Wow.
such a selfish lawyer. If you remember, so we went to the same medical school. So I'm going to give a scenario to remember. When you're walking down from the
Uh-huh.
hospital through the that junior cafeteria, what's that place called? Junior, oh Lord, anybody from UCH, please help me type it here. That junior place where we used to buy food, the junior cafeteria where we buy amala. That's junior.
Really?
Then we walk down to
Really?
where you do yeah, that place where you do photocopies, that place.
Is that
So we're
in
walking
UI
down
or UCH?
UCH, sorry,
UCH.
UCH. The
Okay.
junior cafeteria, I
Praise
can't
God.
remember. Somebody will send
I can picture it, but
so you're
I
walking
don't
down
remember
from
the
to that
name.
gate. So there's a
Hmm.
gate that now comes into the mechanic area.
Right, right,
So we're walking
right.
down, and he was just like really angry. He said, "Medicine is such a jealous lover, such a very, very possessive, jealous lover. In
Wow,
fact, it's a demon. It's a demon that takes all of you and leaves nothing for you."
wow.
Because we were in surgery, you know how it is. It's there the
Yeah,
whole day,
that
maybe
is
like at 6 o'clock in the morning.
true.
From there to theater, theater to clinic, back to theater. And so literally from like 5 o'clock, you've been in school till like maybe 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you're coming
Yeah.
and you have a test the next day. It was something in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, it's such a wicked
Wow.
demon that takes all of you and still wants more of you. Now, this was the guy. And,
Wow.
you know, I looked at him and I was like, you know, this is so true because all I've done, I'm now in my 20s, I still live with my parents, is this. I'm not even sure if I want to finish strong, you know,
Wow.
yet. And so anyway, we sacrifice ourselves or even knowing who we are
Mm-hmm.
just to become doctors. And then maybe like 25, 26, we graduate and we're kind of thrown into life.
Yeah.
So many of us kind of move into our 30s without even knowing who we are.
Wow.
Our best roles are physicians, female physicians, you know, in this specialist field. Um, we've taken on new roles, you know, Mrs., mom, or bosses at work. I'm just throwing this out because this is the lot of things I share on my own little space.
Right.
But how will you advise a woman who's like, I'm just tired of just living in mom role, you know, wife role, consultant role, doctor role, sister in church role, and I don't even know who I am anymore. I'm maybe like 38, you know, 40. Where will I even start from in this whole thing? Like, I can't even fit into a social network at this point in time because I'm just like, I'm at a place where I'm respected as a doctor, but I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. What will you say to that person regarding social wellness?
Yeah, and
I
that's
know it's
why you
a very deep, I know it's a very deep, but I need to bring this journey because these are the unique things that women doctors
right,
experience truly that,
right.
you know, we don't see on platforms, but it's our reality. Even in the States, in other developed countries, the curriculum and the experience is the same, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think you've said it so well because that's where when you get to a particular level in life, you can't, not that you can't, but you don't get to tap or pull from just anybody. That's why you kind of need a community of people who are more advanced than you, or at least at
Mm-hmm,
your intellectual level,
mm-hmm,
because then you can hear from them and you can trust what they're telling you. But especially more so someone who has gone on a journey ahead of you where you want to be. So, for example, if you want to be a speaker and you want to be on IG Live and you've never been on IG Live, you can be like, oh, Bunmi has done it, Jumi has done it. Let me tap
mm-hmm,
into them
mm-hmm.
and see how I can start, or maybe what challenges they faced at the beginning and how they're growing in that journey. So you can't just learn from anybody. You need to learn from those who have walked the path that you want to achieve and work on. And sometimes, like you mentioned too, saying you're tired of mommy role, this role, and all that. I think sometimes the challenge we face as women is we define ourselves by our titles. So what happens if nobody calls you Dr. Jumi anymore? Are you still someone? If I'm not Thrive with Dr. B anymore, am I still someone? If I'm not the family medicine physician or the president of this association, am I still someone? And that's why we need to sit down with ourselves. That's a real fact by itself there. It sounds weird, but yeah, actually sitting down with yourself, taking time to take an inventory of who you are. How has your journey been? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? Like it could just be simple things. Like I, for example, I don't like stress. I say that all the time, and every time I say that, my friends or some people in my circle are like, "What do you mean by you don't like stress? Stress. Life itself is stress." I'm like, "Yeah, I know life is stress, and sometimes you can avoid some stress. But if you define some things for yourself, you find out that you're able to tailor your life to fit that. So because I
Yeah.
don't like stress, I think twice about some things I do. If it's going to stress me out, I'm going to think of, is there a way I can make that easier? So, for example, grocery shopping, you go to the store. There was a time I was just thinking, okay, you grab the things from the shelf, you put it in the cart, you get to the checkout, you take it out of the cart, you put it in the bag, you put the bag back in the cart, you drive the cart to the car, you empty the stuff from the basket, which is the cars, into your car. You get home, you take it out of the car, then you take it
All
out of the bag. That's just so many steps.
right.
So you're like, how can I reduce this steps? So one of it is, okay, just get on Instacart
Mhm,
and order the things to your house. So by doing that, you've cut like 4 out of the 6 steps. So it gets to your house maybe in bags or
mhm,
paper bags or whatever. So you just have to deal with maybe like the last 2 steps of taking it out of the bag and putting it wherever it needs to be. So sometimes that's how I operate in life, because I've just decided for myself that I want to live long, I want to live happy, and things like that. And anything that brings stress, I want to
yeah,
reduce it to the minimum.
yeah.
So I'm just using
That
that
makes
as an example.
sense.
So
Yeah.
as women, we need to go beyond the titles sometimes and just sit with ourselves. Who am I? What do I like? What gifts has God given me that I can use, for my benefit, for the benefit of those around me? And by taking those small little steps, you get to discover yourself some more. You get to refine who you are, and then you can present yourself, on a plate of gold to those around you.
Mm,
And my
right.
dear, life is beautiful.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I would say perspective is everything, how you see. As in, I believe that you are first human being
Right,
on the journey. You are first
right.
human being on the journey before anything came, before you even did the jam for Nigerian graduates like we are.
Mhm.
You're first human
Right.
being. As a 6-year-old child, you had some things that you did as a child that you loved to do. Maybe dancing was your thing, or, acting,
Mhm.
taking care of babies, gardening, planting, cooking, whatever, choreography. Those are your essences, your
Right.
personalities before you now, went into that whole boot camp of medicine that
Mhm.
forcefully redefined you. I will say, and that's one of the reasons why this retreat is so important. If you are listening here, I'm like, what's this for me in this retreat as well? You need that space, as Bumi said. And sometimes it's not just a moment, it's a full weekend kind of space, like hours away from the things that define you or have redefined you or relabeled you, and just say, who am I?
Right.
Like, who am I? Like, what on earth was I created for? What was my what was the initial idea behind God when He said, "Hey, come to this earth and be born in this
Mhm.
family"? Like, this is a funny one I share in my mentoring. My mom is really light skinned, like really, really light skinned, and my dad is really, really dark skinned.
Yep.
And for a long time as a young girl, when I still struggled with esteem issues, of course, being a Nigerian girl, everybody gave me a nickname because of my complexion. It was just a Nigerian thing. I didn't even know that when I come to America again or any other country I go to, they will still call it. But what's the big deal being dark skinned in Nigeria? And I said, God, why didn't my DNA take my mom's complexion that it was my dad's own? Why my dad's own is the extreme. Like me, I took my dad's own on the extreme of the color spectrum. And it was a discussion with God and myself for a very long time. Now,
Mm.
as I went through life, I realized that I drew young black women. Oh, by the way, not only was the complexion, I'm also then of course life has evolved, but I'm also like on the really slim side of the weight calendar.
Okay.
And it was like black and skinny, slim shady, like and all the interesting slangs. And so it was a question. If I won't be very skinny safe, let me even have yellow inside. Anyway. But I realized that as I went through life, I attracted a lot of young women who were dark skinned and slim. And they just said something about, oh, I just like the way you just, own this
Right.
complexion. I like the way you just own your stature. And I'm like, without any plans to mentor women that looked like me, just them attracted to me
Mhm.
based on how I looked
Right.
and how I carried how I looked, and so that in itself, just my birth circumstance of
Mhm.
taking my dad's dominant gene of his complexion
Right.
and his height already, gave me a mission in that cell.
Mhm.
And so sometimes we need to, now I could have ignored that and said, hey, I don't have time for all this. I'm a doctor, female doctor. I want to be, very good at my arts and just ignore the young ladies as they send me messages or reach out to me, and then focus on the medicine. But having that place where I can pull out from that medicine or any other title and role and seeing things that are unique to my personality,
Mm-hmm.
things I do effortlessly. Like I love to tell stories. Many of you don't know that I'm an amazing storyteller. I like just, and stuff like that. And I can do, and, just be, evolve and show who I am
Right.
outside of the practice, outside of being a mom or wife or a boss
Mm-hmm.
lady. So this retreat is going to create an environment for you to pull out of all those labels,
Yeah.
as Doc B said, and really think about who am I outside of these labels.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I would say, empower you to now say, hmm, so this is who I probably am, because sometimes it's hard to accept reality. But how can I go on a further journey
Right.
into exploring who I apparently am? And so there's a lot of empowerment to take you to that place of thoughts, thoughts are, what's the word? Like challenging your thoughts and your mindset and the stereotypes you have had for many
Mm-hmm.
decades. And then beyond the empowering, there's also a transformation. See, there's so much energy and power when you're in a room of women who have walked their talk. There are these women that are coming. They're not, it's not mouths. They have walked their talk. And there's an anointing backing their talk. So just being in that amazingness of the anointing, as I said earlier, every blessing you are praying for, somebody already has it.
Exactly.
Just find the person that has it and connect to the person. Pour water if you have to pour water
Yeah.
on the person's hand, but
Yeah.
connect. So coming there and just being in that amazing energy of women in medicine who are thriving, using
Mm-hmm.
your words, thriving and succeeding
Right.
in knowing who they are outside of the roles that life gives us.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's really going to be very empowering.
Yes.
And finally, apart from being in that environment and being connected to what they bring to that place, is that you are given tools to go run with, an opportunity to even network, which we talked about
Mm-hmm.
earlier. So that by the time you come back again, because by God's grace, it's going to be annual, as in you are empowered, you are transformed, and like the theme of the retreat, there's an elevation. As a
Definitely.
doctor, you're already at a place of wellness, we get it, but there's an elevation. And
Yes.
so that's the big thing why we are doing this retreat in person
Mm-hmm.
and not virtually. I've had so many people DM me, like, oh, is there a link? As we're just so used to, is there a link? Is there a link? Which was not the way. Before COVID, we would
Right.
sit on our couch, or we are cooking or we're on the phone and we're at a retreat. As in, who invented that? So it's in person, so we
Yes.
can build the social energy. So there's no link. And we're doing it at a resort because there's an energy when you are at a resort versus when you are at a meeting room or a meeting place. It's a relaxed place already.
Right.
And the resort is on the beach. That's how much we have gone to create the environment already for you to come
Mm-hmm.
and learn how to thrive in many areas, but also socially.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm really excited about the
Yes.
retreat. Anything else you want to add about social wellness and how we can kind of start inculcating it into our lifestyle and our lives? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, I just want to say, thank you for this amazing opportunity and for everyone that has joined us and that will be watching this live. There's so much more to you beyond the titles and women thrive in communities, and you're the sum total of the top 5 people you hang out with. So look around you. Who are they? If you're not really proud of that circle, you can join this too that you're watching on the screen right now. And we look forward to having you at the retreat. Just, bond, sisterhood, elevate, and be refreshed. So thank you,
And
Dr. Jumi.
thank you so much. I'm so excited to see you today.
Yes, me too.
Let's go, continue thriving in our roles at this point, and then hopefully we'll see on the other side where we don't have to use our roles, and just enjoy girlfriend lifestyle.
Yes.
It was really good having you pop on.
Same
this impromptu
here,
life.
hanging
I
out
hope we
with
can do
you.
it again and
Sure.
again as we continue this discussions to this retreat. I really want to build a lot of conversations around this beyond the retreat.
Right.
I feel it's so important
Yes.
right now. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
really grateful that you obliged me. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I love you.
Love
Stay
you
in
more.
touch.
I behaved myself. I didn't. I behaved myself. Anyways, take care and have
All
a
right.
blessed week ahead. And thank you everyone for coming on
Thank
as well. If
you.
you have any questions, please send a DM. If you need sponsorship or you want to sponsor the retreat, send a DM. My number is also there as well. Call me. Take care, everyone. God bless
Thank you.
you. Bye.
Bye.